Hello, welcome to Scrap Time episode 1036. My name is Christina. On today's episode, I'm showing you some ways to document your next vacation. Today I'm going to share with you how I documented our latest vacation, which happened to be to Disney. And maybe you can use some of these tips when you're planning your vacation. So I start when I am at home and I get myself a little notebook. I made this one and I wrote Disney 2015 on it. And in it, I put our itinerary. So my flight information and times, the hotel we're checking into, and then for our dinner reservations, our fast passes, and other activities that are going on. So even though I use the Disney app, I like to have it still in paper so I can quickly refer to it without pulling out my phone. And I do it for each day of that we're there, any information I need to know. So that's the first thing I do while I'm still at home. Then next, we go to Disney quite often. And if you've ever been to Disney, you might have gotten autographs from the different characters. But because we go often, we sort of stopped getting their autographs because there's only so many times. So what I decided to do this time was to make a photo book with all the characters so we could get them to sign it when we're there. So you can see here. And so with this book, I use pictures from many trips. So if I flip through, here was a picture during Halloween when we had gone. Here was a couple pictures from when Gemma, on her first trip when she was 4. So it was really cute because the characters could see Gemma now and then when she was young with them. And the characters really like seeing, even though it's not necessarily them, they're still like, oh, look, that's me. And so it was really fun to have this photo book. And I had this made by Photo in Press. It's a Canadian company. And I'm going to be showing you another photo book. And I'll talk more about the photo books in a moment. And this is just a nice small book I threw in my bag and we had the characters autograph it. The other thing I did was I brought a little kit with me. So I had this little case, and in it, the main thing, of course, was the book. And I used this book to keep notes. So I started, I date it, I talk about what we're doing, and I had brought along some different embellishments. So I brought these little round stickers so we can make little happy faces. I brought some washi tape. I brought these other little stickers. Then when we were there, we collected some little ephemera that I threw in my case. I had these little die cuts. And then I had some stamps for like shopping and dinner and cafe. I brought a marker, a glue stick, and a little ink pad. So I'm going to just shove that back in there. So when I started the trip, I just wrote on like one side of the page. I put washi tape for like it's the end of the day. I used some of the extra pages for more signatures. If you weren't in the book or if we already had their signature, we got them to sign the book. So we had the little stamps to indicate we were shopping and stuff, and our little what we thought, a new idea and that. Then as I started writing though, I realized that I'm using a lot of pages. So over here, I started writing on both sides of the pages. And then we went to see the movie, so I glued my movie stubs in there. I also, at the end of the day, write our favorite attraction, our favorite food, the favorite character we met for each day, just to write some highlights. Here you can see I used some of the stamps. And then when we were in Epcot, we went to the KidCot stations, and I got them to stamp with like their country stamp and write what they would write if you had the little passport or the kids were doing their little books. So I get them to write it right in my book. Here's some more of that. Some of them took the whole page, which was sort of cool. They did their drawings and that. But then as my trip went on, I realized I'm using a lot of pages. So From there, I stopped with the fanciness and I just did the journaling. But whatever you do, it's great to carry around a little book with you while you're on vacation. So you can write those things, what you ate for dinner, what rides you went on, who you met, any special moment that happened. Because our trip was almost 2 weeks long, and I have no idea from the top of my mind what we did on the first day. So by having it all written here, it makes it really easy once you get home and you're putting together your scrapbook or however you are going to put together your photos. This way you have your journaling already done. So my latest way of memory keeping now is photo books, because I've taken so many photos and I have so many scrapbooks and pocket albums and all that, that I'm now moving to photo books. So as I mentioned before, this photo book is made by Photo In Press. It's a Canadian company. I had the cover made with our trip. There's it on the spine, and then there's a little picture on the back. This book has about 570 photos in it. And I took all that journaling that I wrote in my little book and added it right onto the pages. This is an 8.5 by 11 book, and you can see how beautiful the photos are. They're nice and bright, and you can fit so many on a page. So I do the custom pages, and you pick, like I have 6 vertical photos, and it will give you a layout for it, where here's 5 vertical photos. Then here's a combination, oh that's 5 still, but here's a combination here of horizontal and vertical, and different ways you can place them on the page. And then I wanted some more journaling, so on that page I added the journaling. And I want to flip through to show you that you can put, see here's a lot of photos on the page to make a nice collage. So in this case they're all sort of the topiaries, and I didn't want pages and pages of topiaries, so I picked some of my favorite and I was able to group them right on the same page. Let's go through. Even the dark photos, you can see they still have a brightness to them. They're quite nice. The other thing I like about these books is they are stitch bound in our seam here. All the pages are stitched together, so you don't have to worry about them coming apart. I'm just flipping through. I have one where there's a pile of photos on a page, but as I flip through, you can just see the vibrancy of the book. Now, I originally had a photo book made from blacks and from another trip. And I have to say, I was very unhappy with their photo printing. The photos were really dull. And a lot of times, if it was a dark photo, it was just, you couldn't even see who was in the photo. And their photos are glue bound, not stitch bound. So if you're Canadian, I would highly recommend going with Photo In Press. They're really quick. They take about 2 days to print, and then depending where you live in Canada, a few days to ship. When I did my autograph book, I wanted it really fast, so I paid an extra $5 and had it shipped the next day, versus my blacks book took over 2 weeks to arrive. So I'm really happy with Photo In Press, and they're very competitively priced. And here's a page where there are 16 photos from our safari trip. So you can see how you can put lots of photos on one page, and yet they still look really great. So I'll just sort of flip through. So I find personally, I am now addicted to making photo books for my memory keeping. I like that I can fit so many photos in there. I can do my journaling, and yet it's a nice compact book that I can easily just grab off the shelf and look at. And I think I'm going to be enjoying these books for years to come, whereas some of my scrapbook albums get put away and they're very big and heavy, whereas this is a lot more portable. Here's another page where there's like 15 photos that you can see the detail and all the different pictures. So hopefully that will give you some ideas. Of course, this was a Disney trip, but you can use any of these tips for any trip you might be taking. Well, that's it for today's episode. Be sure to check out our website at www.scraptime.ca. And on our next episode, I am showing you the Dylusions paint from Ranger. So please join us. Thanks for watching Scrap Time.